By the way, we learned on the baby formula shortage. I might do my Monday monologue on this because this is just so enraging, but also so perfect. Part of what happened and why there is such a disastrous shortage right now and why moms and babies are, I mean, it's horrible. I can't imagine being in that situation where you don't know where you're going to get your baby's next meal. Horrible, horrible. Abbott had to recall all of their formula, or a significant amount of their formula, because you had 4 babies who had a bacterial infection, 2 of whom died. And now we're learning that apparently they had refused to repair dilapidated drying machines, and that, made their plants into potential petri dishes for these bacterial infections. At the same time, Saagar, though, they didn't want to take the money to invest in actually making sure that babies are safe. Instead, they did invest $5.73 billion in stock buybacks.
I was going to say, she's about to say stock buyback.
Stock buybacks.
Yeah, every time.
Too perfect.
This is a good example, though. This is about monopolization, which is that Abbott has a direct contract with WIC, the WIC program, which we talked about earlier. We need more competition in this sector. And I've now known much more about baby formula than I ever did in my life. But, I was telling you, there's a wealthy black market for European baby formula. A lot of Instagram moms are obsessed with European baby formula because it doesn't have plant-based additives like ours and has more, whatever. We don't have to get into all of the science on it. But the point is that there's already an existing market here for European baby formula. Now, look, I'm a protectionist at heart, but if we don't have it and we have a crisis, let's go get some. I mean, these are not hard things to do. I was also reading that there are certain facilities and others that we could easily convert if Biden invoked the Defense Production Act in order to spin up baby formula production. Instead, thumb up the you-know-what over at the administration doing absolutely nothing. And I got 2 friends actually right now of newborn infants, and both of them texting me about how much, one of them is a prepper actually, so he foresaw this crisis and he's got like 3 months, but he's like, hey, listen, man, I don't know what I'm gonna do after 3 months. He goes, I really hope that, there's not still short. His wife is freaking out, talking to him about it. I don't want to be in that. I can't imagine being in that situation.
I was reading about moms who have babies who have allergies, or particularly if it's one thing. I mean, this is bad for everybody, and there are states where it's as much as 50% out of stock. I mean, if you go on Amazon, for example, you can't possibly buy it. But if you need a specific kind of formula for your baby in particular, it is a really, really bad situation. Of course, it's even worse if you are low income and it's hard for you to afford it to start with, and then prices are skyrocketing. So, I mean, I can't imagine a more clear-cut instance of this is a complete crisis. We have to do something about it now. Like, if that isn't a clear-cut case for whatever it takes, like, go and buy the baby formula in Europe, bring it here, give it out for free, Defense Production Act, whatever you ultimately have to do. And the last thing I'll say about all of this is, the whole promise of this particular system of sort of like radical free market capitalism that we have is that, listen, yes, corporations are going to get rich. Yes, your jobs are going to get shipped overseas. That's all true. But your prices are going to be low. And you're never going to have to worry about like the, food crises that they have in communist countries. That's not going to happen here. Well, guess what? You got the jobs shipped overseas, and you still had prices increase. You're still paying too much. So none of the promises of this system, the way that it was architected, have ultimately come true. And, I think that's a big learning to take from all of this as we move forward.
Huge learning. And, I was reading yesterday about these moms on Facebook groups who are having to, like, swap breast milk. And I'm like, that is some failed state, like 1915
Completely.
Stuff. I can't even imagine it.
Cable news is ripping us apart, dividing the country, making it impossible to function as a society, and making it impossible to know just what is true and what is false. But the good news is they are failing and they know it.
That is why we're building something new, a new mainstream, a healthier one, something more trustworthy, something that we are going to need in one of the most pivotal times in American history. We are building up here for the midterms, for the upcoming presidential election, but we need your help. So if you can help us out by becoming a premium member today at breakingpoints.com, we're trying to change America for the better and the entire world.
So what are you waiting for, guys? Go to breakingpoints.com and sign up and help us build a new mainstream.